DreAllDay.com.
What's going on, everybody? Dre Baldwin, DreAllDay.com. This week's motivation is called focusing on the present moment. The reason I call it that is because if you think about it, think about how you think over the course of a day. How much time do you spend reminiscing about something that happened in the past, whether that be 10 years ago, some friend you grew up with, or something that happened 5 minutes ago? How much time do you spend daydreaming about the future? What you're going to eat for lunch later on? What you're going to do tomorrow when you see such and such person? What's going to happen next time you have a conversation with somebody you know? We all spend a whole lot of time thinking about the past and thinking about the future, but the only thing we truly own is right now. There's nothing we can do about things that happened already, and we can't do nothing about things that didn't happen yet, because they might not even happen the way that we think they're going to happen. They might not even happen at all. We might not even make it to get to the future to actually do the things that we're thinking about. And if you think about that, we all know that. How many people do you know or have you known of who passed away, who died when they didn't know they were going to die? Who they didn't know that they wasn't going to make it to the next week. They didn't know the day that they woke up that that would be their last time waking up. They didn't get a chance to say goodbye or anything like that. Quick story. If any of you ever heard of the phrase, burn the boats? There was a Spanish explorer. He got sent over to Mexico. His name was Hernan Cortez. He got sent over to Mexico like in the 1500s. And they had like 11 boats. They went over to Mexico and they were trying to find out what was going on in Mexico. But they found out there were a lot of warriors in Mexico called the Aztecs, who were real fierce warriors. They had like 500,000 people. Cortez had 500 people. When his people found out the situation, that they had 500,000, there was only 500 of them. They said, all right, we want to go back home. We wanted to go back. They had a settlement in Cuba, so they wanted to go back to Cuba where it was safe. That's where their families was. There was no danger in Cuba. Only thing in Mexico was some gold to get, and this land with 500,000 men, they would have to fight in order to rule it. Cortez wanted to rule that land. He wanted to take over somehow, some way, with his 500, beat that 500,000. But all his men were thinking about was going back home, right? So you know what Cortez did? He destroyed all of his own boats. What he actually did was sink the boats. The phrase "burn the boats" comes from this story, but what he really did was sink the boats. So they had put holes in the boats so that all the boats sank. There was nothing wrong with the boats. Sunk all 11 of the ships, and then he told his men, now we don't have no way to go home. We have no plan B. Only way we can survive is if we focus on right now and go through this situation, and we can conquer this land. We get all the gold, all the riches, and there'll be that much more for everybody because there's only 500 of us. It took him about 2 years. They conquered that land. He established Mexico City. He became like the ruler of Mexico, Hernan Cortez, all because he destroyed those boats and gave his men no choice. They couldn't focus on what might happen in the future. They couldn't feel sad about the past. All they could do was focus on the present moment because their lives were on the line. The difference with all of us is that our lives are probably not on the line. If you watching this video, your life is probably not on the line right now. There's nobody threatening your life in any situation. You had to choose to focus on the present moment. You had to choose to not worry about reminisce about the past, not worry about the future. Focus on where you are right now. Imagine those men, those 500 men, they got to fight 500,000, which means by ratio, every one of those men had to defeat 1,000 men in order for them to survive. And only so many of them could fail before their whole team was wiped out. Each one of them had to be completely focused in order to get that done, or else they would have all died. That's the way that you got to focus your mind. Like I said, your life is not on the line. Nobody's about to kill any of us. The world we live in is relatively safe. I don't care where you at. Compared to back then, you're relatively safe. You have to choose to focus on the present moment with all your physical energy, all your mental energy, all your emotional energy, because it's the only thing that you truly own if you really think about it. Work on your game. DreAllDay.com. I had a guaranteed 10 inches to your vertical, not a maybe 10 inches. Guaranteed 10 inches to your vertical. Go to DreAllDay.com/jump. Get the jump manual. When you get it, I'm going to give you 5 free pen books or any free DVD. All you got to do is email me the receipt. DreAllDay.com/jump.
All right, let's go to our next guy, Dre Baldwin.
The punch card.
I would insinuate he's physical.
Physical player.
Punch card.
You can absolutely look at his build. That would be a player that you hope to be your physical presence.
Unless he photoshopped his body on someone else.
He looks like the kind of guy that's going to show up with 4 carloads of family and friends.